Every time you force your biological machine to endure a 14-hour workday, you are actively accelerating your own cellular death. Modern society has engineered a highly toxic, deeply manipulative narrative designed to keep the middle class permanently exhausted. You have been programmed to believe that the ultimate metric of ambition, discipline, and future wealth is the sheer volume of hours you spend working. The corporate matrix glorifies the young professional who sleeps 4 hours a night, skips meals, and constantly grinds through the weekend, labeling this self-destruction as the inevitable path to success. But the harsh, clinical reality of human biology tells a completely different story. The global elite, the top 1% of cognitive performers and self-made billionaires, do not operate on this primitive, brute force model. They understand a classified biological law that the commercial hustle culture desperately wants to keep hidden from you. Chronic exhaustion does not build leverage, it destroys your DNA. If you click away from this video and continue to romanticize your sleep deprivation, you are voluntarily signing a contract to rust from the inside out. You will spend the absolute prime of your life burning your finite cognitive fuel just to participate in a rat race that mathematically guarantees premature aging. But if you stay, I will dissect the exact clinical mechanics of cellular decay. I will reveal the terrifying neurological damage that occurs inside your brain after a 14-hour shift, and I will show you the exact biological frameworks the elite use to protect their fluid intelligence and build empires while the masses grind themselves into the ground. This is the physiological truth about burnout that the system uses to keep you weak, slow, and compliant. How chronic stress mutates DNA. To understand why the 14-hour grind is a biological death sentence, you must look at what happens at the microscopic level when the human body is exposed to chronic, unrelenting stress. In his clinical frameworks regarding longevity and medicine 3.0, Dr. Peter Attia explains that the body is not a machine that can simply be powered by sheer willpower. When you force yourself into a state of constant physical and mental exertion, your adrenal glands continuously flood your bloodstream with cortisol. In short, acute bursts, cortisol is a highly effective survival mechanism designed to help you escape immediate danger. But when you're grinding for 14 hours a day, staring at bright screens, and operating under a perpetual state of corporate anxiety, your cortisol levels never drop. This chronic elevation of stress hormones acts as a highly corrosive acid within your vascular system. It raises your baseline blood pressure, forces your heart to work exponentially harder, and completely destabilizes your blood glucose levels. But the true devastation occurs deep within your genetic code. High levels of sustained cortisol actively alter your gene expression through a process known as epigenetic methylation. You are literally turning off the genes responsible for cellular protection and turning on the genes that accelerate systemic inflammation. Furthermore, this relentless stress violently attacks your telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes that dictate how many times your cells can safely divide before dying. The more you sacrifice your recovery for the illusion of productivity, the faster these telomeres degrade. You are not simply getting tired, you are mathematically mutating your DNA, permanently shaving years off your total lifespan simply to look busy in a society that does not care about your survival. The Autophagy Blackout, the destruction of your genetic code, is only the first phase of the biological collapse. When you subscribe to the toxic hustle culture, you fundamentally disrupt the body's most critical internal maintenance program. The human biological system operates on a delicate balance between growth and repair. When you are constantly awake, constantly consuming caffeine, and constantly stimulating your nervous system to push through a 14-hour shift, your body remains locked in a permanent state of biological activation. You are forcing the mTOR pathway, the master regulator of cellular growth and metabolism, to remain entirely switched on. Because the laws of human homeostasis are absolute, keeping the activation pathway turned on permanently means its direct biological opposite is completely shut down. That opposite pathway is autophagy. Autophagy is the miraculous cellular recycling process where your body literally consumes its own dead, damaged, and mutated cells to regenerate pristine, youthful tissue. It is your ultimate defense mechanism against accelerated aging and cognitive decline. But autophagy is extremely sensitive. It only activates during periods of deep fasting and profound, uninterrupted rest. By working endlessly and sleeping only a fraction of what your biology demands, you force an autophagy blackout. Your system is never given the permission or the resources to clean out the microscopic garbage. damaged proteins begin to accumulate in your bloodstream. Senescent cells, clinically classified as zombie cells, begin to multiply uncontrollably throughout your organs. These zombie cells refuse to die, secreting highly toxic inflammatory cytokines directly into surrounding healthy tissue. The modern entrepreneur projects a superficial image of relentless ambition, but internally they are experiencing rapid, unchecked biological rusting. They are trading their cellular longevity for a fabricated sense of status. Why sleep deprivation kills focus? This internal rusting ultimately suffocates your most valuable wealth-building asset, your central nervous system. The belief that you can outwork your competition by sleeping 4 hours a night is the most dangerous biological lie ever sold. In his groundbreaking clinical analysis, Why We Sleep, neuroscientist Dr. Matthew Walker reveals that sleep is not a passive state of dormancy. It is an intense, highly active neurobiological necessity. When you enter deep, slow-wave sleep, your brain initiates a highly sophisticated cleaning protocol known as the glymphatic system. During this phase, the glial cells in your brain literally shrink, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to wash through your neural networks and flush out toxic metabolic byproducts. The most dangerous of these toxins is a sticky protein called beta amyloid, which is directly linked to severe cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. When you grind for 14 hours and slash your sleep window, the glymphatic system never has time to finish its cycle. The beta amyloid plaque remains trapped inside your prefrontal cortex, suffocating your neural pathways and causing immediate, dense brain fog. You lose the capacity for fluid intelligence, which is your ability to solve novel, complex problems under pressure. But the terror of sleep deprivation extends directly to your immune system. Walker's research proves that losing just 1 single hour of required sleep causes an immediate, terrifying 70% drop in your circulating natural killer immune cells. These are the exact cells responsible for hunting down and destroying malignant tumors and viruses in your body. When you hustle through the night, you are actively dismantling your biological armor. You are mathematically destroying your focus, ruining your memory consolidation, and voluntarily poisoning your own brain just to send a few more emails. It is not a demonstration of elite discipline, it is an act of cellular suicide. A biological tax of ambition. If the clinical data definitively proves that the 14-hour grind destroys our DNA, suppresses cellular repair, and suffocates our fluid intelligence, why is modern society so hopelessly addicted to it? The answer lies deep within the clinical psychology of the human reward circuitry. In her brilliant analysis, Dopamine Nation, clinical psychiatrist Dr. Anna Lemp explains that the human brain processes pleasure and pain in the exact same geometric location, operating like a highly sensitive neurological seesaw seeking homeostasis. Modern humans are paralyzed by existential anxiety and a profound lack of true financial leverage. To numb this underlying pain, the brain constantly seeks low-friction, high-dopamine activities that provide the illusion of control. The commercial hustle culture has perfectly weaponized this biological vulnerability. Staying incredibly busy, checking off endless minor tasks on a to-do list, and loudly complaining to your peers about how exhausted you are all trigger massive, unnatural spikes of cheap dopamine. It provides the fabricated illusion of elite progress and forward momentum. The young professional becomes chemically addicted to the daily dopamine hit of physical and mental exhaustion because it makes them feel superior to the masses. But this is a devastating psychological masquerade. They are deliberately overstimulating their dopamine receptors to avoid facing the agonizing, high-friction reality that they lack the actual systems, equity, and scalable leverage to build true wealth. By continually flooding their brain with the cheap dopamine of being busy, their neurological seesaw tips heavily and permanently toward the side of pain. This results in chronic anhedonia. They lose the biological ability to find pleasure in the slow, complex, high-leverage tasks that actually move the needle, like reading, strategizing, and building automated systems. The pursuit of endless work is not a sign of ultimate ambition. It is a socially acceptable form of dopamine addiction that actively destroys the capacity for elite intellectual output. Engineering true cellular recovery. The path to true human optimization and absolute financial sovereignty requires a complete rejection of the commercial hustle narrative. You must fundamentally reprogram your operational reality to align with the principles of Medicine 3.0. The goal of the elite is never to be the most exhausted person in the room. The goal is to be the most biologically efficient and highly leveraged organism on the planet. The top 1% of cognitive performers completely refuse to trade their cellular health for a temporary hit of social validation. They understand that their prefrontal cortex is their ultimate weapon, and they protect their biological energy ruthlessly. Instead of grinding for 14 hours using brute force, they engineer their lives around profound, unbroken recovery. They fiercely protect their 8-hour sleep window, knowing that this is the exact mechanism that clears toxic beta-amyloid plaques from their brain and restores their fluid intelligence. They utilize deep fasting and strategic cardiovascular training to keep the mTOR pathway quiet and allow autophagy to continually recycle their damaged cells. They master their dopamine baseline by refusing to engage in the cheap validation of busy work, directing all of their pristine, deeply oxygenated cognitive energy exclusively toward high-leverage tasks, writing code, building media, and allocating capital. Because their physical and mental machinery is fully recovered, their execution is flawless. They achieve in 4 hours of deep work what the exhausted, sleep-deprived amateur cannot achieve in 14. The system wants you tired, cognitively numb, and addicted to the illusion of the grind because an exhausted human is a compliant human. It is time to drop the dead weight. Starve your ego, optimize your cellular recovery, protect your fluid intelligence, and build permissionless leverage. Opt out of the matrix. Hit the subscribe button to join the minority building true biological sovereignty. But before you go, the debate is open. Be brutally honest. Is your extreme work schedule actually building an unbreakable empire, or is it secretly rotting your cellular energy and keeping you trapped? Defend your reality in the comments below. Let's see who actually understands the math of survival. Master your mind, build your system. See you in the next protocol.